So let's get started with Linux. But the first question arises, why do I need Linux? For example, you may say that in my college they didn't teach Linux. The interviewing companies are not asking Linux. So why do I need Linux? So from my 25 years of experience, I can state with confidence that all big companies have Linux development environment and most people end up working in Linux development most of the time. Windows can be used for development, nothing wrong in there, but Linux is still the favorite. And Linux is very, very powerful because Linux gives you a prompt. Here I have a prompt and I can do things and I can run command. I can say in some directory, I can find certain things very quickly. Find Anuttara, grep, cpp. Point is that you can be on the prompt and you can be very fast. So Linux gives you a prompt. You may say that a prompt is inconvenient. I like the GUI. If you like the GUI, then you like being a user. I am encouraging you to like being a developer. A developer is comfortable and quick on the prompt, and a developer can write commands which do very powerful things very quickly. Even if companies don't ask for Linux, if you write in your CV that you know Linux, a company will be pleasantly surprised. And how do you get ahead in the interviews and placement? By pleasantly surprising the interviewers. So I encourage you learn Linux and you showcase Linux in your resume. What are the resources I have for learning Linux? So you can go to the website anuttara.learning.com. So you have Linux development tools. These contents are being refined, but already they are good enough. So if you go there, Linux concepts and commands, you have some videos also. You can watch these. And there are notes as in kind of bullet items. These notes are not really books, but they are table of contents, right? What all needs to be seen. And then you have this Git repository, github.com/vikasnagpal IITD. And you have some content for Linux development tools. You have some content for C++ programming. C++ programming, I have a lot of content. I have around close to 200 example programs, and you have this entire Linux thing. And Linux is not just prompt. This bash shell, which is running currently, bash shell is running here, is just one part of Linux. Linux development environment consists of different utilities. How do you compile a program? You compile using G++ or GCC. How do you build a system? You can do make. How do you get memory errors in your code? You can run Valgrind. How do you check statically that your code is working? I mean, your code doesn't have bad programming practices or obvious bugs. You can run something with Splint. If you like to use UI, right now what you are seeing is my Ubuntu laptop. In fact, my laptop has only Ubuntu. It doesn't have Windows. So I don't hate Windows, but I love Linux. So naturally, I want the IDEs also. I don't confine to the prompt. So you can run VS Code. You can get the IDEs and you can get the prompt. You can get both in Linux. If you have installed Linux properly. Properly means either in a VirtualBox you can install Ubuntu, or you can better still make a partition and install Ubuntu. You have to be careful not to lose data, and it runs quite fast because I am not running on top of Windows. I am running directly on the hardware. So I encourage you to have a dual boot laptop with Ubuntu and Windows. It's quite easy. There are proven videos, tutorials you can follow and get it done. If you have a very powerful laptop having maybe 16 GB RAM or more, you can have a VirtualBox and you can set aside memory for your VirtualBox. Otherwise, it will be slow. So what are the resources? GitHub, you have some documents. For example, you can have notes for GDB. So you can have GDB, and currently these are like used as bullet items for my memory in my session. So they are not a book style, but at least they tell you what you should know. So we will see these concepts and I will walk you through the actual demo. So my sessions are always code based, prompt based, and actual thing based. So we will start with this. For now, just note that knowing Linux is important. You should know it. And if you know it, there are better chances to get a job and there are better chances to get the right kind of promotions and success in your career.